Welcome back to the Winning Brief Soundbites. I'm Mabel. In this final episode on the EU AI Act, we cover enforcement and penalties. What happens when companies fail to comply? The Act creates a multi-layered enforcement structure. Article 70 designates national market surveillance authorities as the primary enforcers. Each EU member state appoints authorities to monitor AI systems within their jurisdiction. Article 63 establishes the European Artificial Intelligence Board. This body coordinates enforcement across member states, issues guidance, and ensures consistent application of the rules. Article 99 sets out the penalty framework. The Act uses a tiered system based on the nature and severity of the violation. For prohibited AI practices, the penalty reaches up to 35 million euros or 7% of total worldwide annual turnover, whichever is higher. For violations of high-risk obligations or data governance requirements, the penalty reaches up to 15 million euros or 3% of turnover. For breaches of information obligations, the penalty reaches up to 7.5 million euros or 1.5% of turnover. The Act also gives authorities discretion. Article 99(4) requires authorities to consider mitigating factors: the size of the violating company, whether the violation was intentional or negligent, prior compliance history, and actions taken to remedy the harm. So why does this matter to in-house counsel and law firms? First, understand that the Act imposes personal liability on management. If your company deploys prohibited AI, executives can face scrutiny. Compliance becomes a board-level concern. Second, penalties scale with company size. A 7% turnover penalty for a major tech company can exceed billions of euros. This creates enormous exposure for multinational clients. Here's the practical point. Many lawyers focus on getting the technical documentation right: risk assessments, data governance, transparency requirements. But enforcement mechanisms matter just as much. If your client cannot demonstrate good faith compliance efforts, authorities have less reason to show leniency. Now let's look at the phrases we just covered. 1. The Act creates a multi-layered enforcement structure. Multi-layered structure conveys complexity and multiple levels of oversight. 2. The penalty reaches up to 35 million euros or 7% of turnover, whichever is higher. Whichever is higher is standard penalty language. This phrasing appears across EU regulations. 3. The Act gives authorities discretion. Gives authorities discretion signals flexibility in how enforcers apply the rules. 4. Penalties scale with company size. Scale with means the penalty adjusts proportionally. This phrase works across regulatory contexts. 5. Authorities have less reason to show leniency. Less reason to show leniency implies that enforcement depends partly on the violator's conduct and cooperation. Time to practice. Repeat after me. The Act creates a multi-layered enforcement structure. The penalty reaches up to 35 million euros or 7% of turnover, whichever is higher. The Act gives authorities discretion. Penalties scale with company size. Authorities have less reason to show leniency. Well done! This completes our 4-part series on the EU AI Act. You now understand the Act's structure, prohibited and high-risk systems, general-purpose AI models, and enforcement mechanisms. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next episode. If you're a non-native English-speaking lawyer working across borders and feel your English is holding you back professionally, that's exactly what I can help you with. Everything is at thewinningbrief.eu.